Hey guys, Mike here in Taiwan. I wanted to talk to you guys about being serious versus being curious. A lot of times here I talk to some people in Taiwan and they're very curious about, I guess, foreigners or whatever. And that sounds like super cliche because, we're in 2026. So what is there really to be curious about and whatever? But I mean, there's still like some countryside places and some places in the middle of Taiwan where they've never seen anybody who doesn't speak Mandarin or Taiwan language. Anyway, so the point is that like they're gonna ask you all of these questions, especially in English, right? And then they'll say like, are you married? Are you single? How much money do you make? What job do you have? Where do you come from? Blah blah blah. Not necessarily in that order. And then the reason why they'll ask you that, they'll say, oh, it's because I'm just curious, right? And curious is like the word that I hate the most because it doesn't really give you a reason about anything. It just says, okay, well, yeah, I'm curious about whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have an obligation to tell you, right? And then their only reason beyond that is, come on, tell me, right? And I don't know, it's weird. So, but the curious and the serious part is, the serious is like, well, I mean, I don't want to say that I want to necessarily pursue a relationship with this person, but I mean, it is possible, right? And, moving forward, like, what are some of the things that you want to do with this person? I want to maybe, have some type of a business relationship, or maybe even like teach them as a student. I mean, I hate to sound so utilitarian, but like, what is this relationship used for? And even if it's just friends, like just to like hang out and like have a beer, like sometimes, right? I mean, you don't want to talk to some of these people who they kind of sit on the defensive. I used to have a friend back in Canada, and he would ask all of these questions about something, but he wouldn't want to get involved with anything. He wouldn't want to tell me what his real opinion is, right? So, and the thing is, like, I studied psychology, so everything that people usually say is something to do with them, right? It's like, they'll ask you, like, are you afraid of blah, 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 right? And then, 9 times out of 10, it's like, well, it's because that's what they're afraid of. Like, say that, okay, so you have some friend back in Canada or States or whatever, and you say, like, I'm going to Japan, right? And then they say, are you afraid about going to Japan? Like, you don't know anybody there, you don't know what to do there, you don't know the language and everything, right? And then it's because that they're afraid of that, and they're just trying to kind of take that fear and just put it onto you. And I don't know why, but there's like this really deep need for social connection between people. So, that's why people say, like, do you know what I'm saying? Or they'll say, like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Right? And, it's kind of almost just subconscious. And, maybe you don't know what they mean. Right? And words are just like this thing. They just kind of like go somewhere and they just kind of disappear into, like, I mean, that's sound, right? So that's the temporary thing of sound. And that's why I guess people play things on the radio over and over again, so they just get stuck in your brain. Guys, the point is that, when you talk to somebody, especially some new people in Taiwan, and, they've never met you before, they're going to say all these things and be curious about you, but do they necessarily want to be friends with you, and do they necessarily want to start a relationship with you? I'm going to say probably not, because I've just been around the block a little bit more times than most people. Actually, it's funny, I've only met like one person who has been in Taiwan longer than I have, and I haven't really delved too deeply probably into the culture and having relationships with people as probably much as I could. But anyway, there's a lot of things. I don't know, like I had made this video before about how I don't have any friends that I've known for like 5 years, and I can say that I have like a deep and endearing relationship with them, and I know them really well. Because a lot of people in Taiwan, I mean, part of it is that they're just kind of in and out. They'll meet with you and they'll talk with you and they'll say stuff like, I want to learn English, but like they don't really want to get to know you as a person. They just want to, like, okay, well, can you upgrade my English? And so we're friends. I don't want to pay for it. So that's kind of the curious part again, right? But seriously though, if you want to find some other people that are like going to be friends with you for a long time, obviously you just want to like just pick up and talk to somebody and expect that they're going to be your best friend for years and years and years. Usually Asians, they love to have a relationship, a really deep, endearing relationship with somebody that they met from like high school, university. That's probably not you. I wonder sometimes like what the future is about that, and like how I can make some meaningful connections here. If you have any ideas about that, then let me know. I'll see you guys later. Bye.